Fragile X syndrome is the most common inherited intellectual disease. 1 in 4,000 males have the disease, and 1 in 8,000 females have the disease. Physical symptoms include having a large head, a long or narrow face, large ears, a prominent forehead and chin, and overly flexible joints. Fragile X syndrome doesn't decrease life expectancy.
This is News Center 5 reporting from the Keith household, and I am sitting down with Madison, whose 9-year-old son has Fragile X syndrome, and Dr. Robertson, who specializes in this disease. So, Madison, tell us what limitation he encounters.
Beckett struggles with learning. His ability to read and write has been a bit delayed compared to everyone else his own age.
Is there any positive aspects?
Well, he does have a great sense of humor, and he has the ability to make people around him laugh. And the disease doesn't make the quality of his life lessened.
So, Dr. Robertson, how can the person inherit Fragile X syndrome?
Fragile X syndrome is a recessive gene. Men only have one X chromosome, so they only need one of their parents to pass it on. Girls need both parents to pass it on. Fragile X gives the chromosome the ability to break, but you only have Fragile X syndrome if the X chromosome breaks. For girls, you need both X chromosomes to break. Fragile X syndrome is caused by a defective gene on a chromosome that makes it susceptible to break.
Well, that's very informative. I didn't know that. All right, so what is daily life like for Beckett due to his problem?
Well, a lot of the time Beckett bites his hands and flaps his hands, and he has very poor eye contact. But Fragile X doesn't rule our lives. We go out to eat, we go to the library, we go to the beach, we go grocery shopping just like every other family. Sometimes it goes well and sometimes it doesn't. But we just keep going, and we always hope that one day he'll be able to do it all by himself. And most of the time, he displays many autistic behaviors.
Actually, about 30% of boys with Fragile X syndrome meet the full criteria for autism.
Oh, wow. Okay, so how is Fragile X syndrome diagnosed?
On average, boys are diagnosed between 35 to 37 months. Girls are diagnosed at around 47 months. Testing for Fragile X can be done by blood testing and prenatal testing. 2 types of prenatal testing that can be done are amniocentesis, which uses a sample of amniotic fluid, and chronic villus, which is a sample of the cells from the placenta.
I didn't know that boys and girls are different with this disease. Is there one type of treatment used on Beckett?
No, we use a variety of treatments for him, such as education and therapy and medical stuff. The FDA doesn't approve any of the drugs for treatment for Fragile X syndrome or the symptoms, but some still use medications to cope with it.
Do you think a cure will be found?
Most research for Fragile X syndrome has been unsuccessful due to the varieties of the syndrome, because not everyone displays the same symptoms with Fragile X, but it's a relatively new discovery too, although it might be possible to find a cure with the technology later in life.
Oh, wow.
There are many organizations out there to help families affected by the disease. For more information or support, please go to childrenshospital.org.
Thanks for joining us on News Center 5. We'll see you next time. So this was our forecast not weather forecast. So this was our news forecast of Rock On, suckers!
2, 3.
Dr. Robertson. So, Dr. Robertson, how can the person inherit Fragile X syndrome? Babe. Get baby. Oh, hello. Is that Madison's?
Oh, I guess it is.
Hello? Hello? Yes? What? I'm not Abby Cruz. No, I'm sorry. You have the wrong number. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Say, are you the husband of Abby Cruz? Do I sound like a guy?